hello, and welcome back to Happiness by Habit, the podcast where we explore the routines, strategies, and breakthroughs that help people build joyful, impactful lives. I am your host, Silvana Pimentel, and today I am honored to sit down with someone who's dedicated her life to unlocking leadership potential and transforming the workplace from the inside out. Dr. Lara Gooler. She's a certified executive coach, organizational psychologist, and the founder of Gooler Leadership Solutions. She has over 25 years of experience. Laura empowers leaders in healthcare, medtech, and beyond to elevate their effectiveness, lead through change, and build high-performing teams, all while staying aligned with their purpose. Her superpower, helping leaders get unstuck and translate the strategy into real, lasting impact. Today, we will dive into her journey, her habits for happiness and success, and how she sees AI playing a role in the future of leadership. Laura, welcome to Happiness by Habit. So excited to have you.
Thank you, Silvana. I am so excited to be here. I just love your mission and spreading happiness. It's something that I think is core to what life should be about. And I really appreciate all you're doing to bring together people who want to really find out how to make happiness a habit. So thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Oh, my pleasure for sure, Laura. Let's talk about your journey. You spent decades helping leaders become more effective and fulfilled. That's really key. What inspired you to dedicate your career to leadership development and transformation?
I'd have to say it stems from my family upbringing. I grew up in a blended family and we had personal business. And one thing that I was really struck with from the, you know, very early stages of my life was just how miserable and how much people hated their work in my family. And then they had their own businesses too. So I think what really struck me was that we spend the majority of our life at work and working or preparing for work. So it has a profound impact on your quality of life and your well-being. And it shouldn't be something that you get a knot in your stomach when you have to go to work. It should be something that enables you to bring in positive aspects of your life. So I really was struck by there has to be a better way. And I thought, okay, how do I help organizations get there? And so my orientation was always about moving the needle and making organizations healthier and more productive. But you have to really deal with the people side of that equation because at the end of the day, people, as one leader that I coached said, I just need a pair of hands to get something done, but they always bring their whole selves at work. And so I think that's very true. We are not just a pair of hands. There's so much more that we bring. And I think today's employees are looking for more than just a paycheck coming in. They really do want to work in environments that align with their values, that give them the economic well-being that they expect and deserve, and enable them to grow as individuals.
Absolutely. Right on, Laura. Especially people are looking to fill all their buckets, not just their income base or their salary or financial needs, but also their purpose, right? So that's very critical. You talk about helping people get unstuck. What does that usually look like? And how do you help them break through?
Yeah. Well, we've all been stuck in some area of our life, whether it's trying to lose that extra 10 pounds or trying to get out of a relationship that may not be, totally fulfilling, or, we're not able to get to that next plateau in our careers. I think the key to getting unstuck is really discovering the limiting beliefs and mindset that keeps us from moving forward. Of success is psychology, 20% is strategy. I think as I work with leaders and teams is, when we really get super clear on the outcome that they want to accomplish, then we need to explore what's keeping you from getting there. Oftentimes it's that mindset or limiting beliefs. And so we all have that inner critic, that voice that tells us, oh, maybe I'm not good enough, or maybe I am not old enough to do this, or maybe it's too late, or I don't have the right experience. But those kind of saboteurs are very powerful. and we all have them. We can't escape them. So I really work with leaders and teams to figure out, how do you recognize when they're at play, and how do you put them on the shelf so that they don't control whether or not you move forward and take that step. So learning how to leverage them versus keep them from getting you down. But sometimes, and oftentimes, I would say these limiting beliefs are unconscious, that we may not totally be aware that they are driving that power in how the decisions that we make and the actions that we take. So surfacing those can be very empowering to recognize that, maybe it's not as bad as it is. And I'm a firm believer that understand the challenges you're faced with, but don't make them worse than they are. Understand how to tackle them, as opposed to saying, well, it is what it is, so I probably can't do something. And I think this goes back to some of the work that Stephen Covey has about focusing on what's in your control and not spending so much time in areas that are outside of your control. And unfortunately, people spend a lot of mental and emotional energy on things that are not in their control, when they can turn the tables by focusing in on those things that they really can influence in their lives.
So powerful what you just said, because limiting beliefs is such a powerful force. And we, as you mentioned, a lot of people have negative limiting beliefs that become like an obstacle in their success. So it's very crucial to identify them and do something with those, like put them away, and so you can move forward with your plan and succeed, right? That's fascinating. Talking about that, Laura, what is your why? What fuels your passion for this work every day?
I think it's serving others. For me, my personal mission is to serve others with grace, love, and joy. And I'm at that point in my career where I want to make a positive difference and help lift others up. So when I get that opportunity to partner with somebody to explore what really is possible and live bigger dreams and aspirations, and then help them build capabilities to get there, it's not about me, it's about their success. And it's really powerful to be invited in and to that arena, whether you're working one-on-one with a leader or coming in to an organization and supporting their success. It's ultimately, for me, I see it as an act of giving and serving, and that's very rewarding to be able to serve in that capacity. So I often say I have the best job because I get to work with really talented individuals who are tackling some tough challenges and opportunities, and together we can achieve things greater than you can on your own. And so it's just as much about connection and partnership and collaboration as it is about, serving others.
Laura, it must be so rewarding to see how the before and after with your clients, and see how you can help them get unstuck, and see how wonderful things they can do without their limiting beliefs, and just realizing all their dreams. That's very fascinating.
I think I've always been fascinated on what motivates other people. And I think when you have an opportunity to inspire others to be their best versions of themselves and to accomplish more of what's truly important to them, it becomes contagious, right? There's this energy and that's something I really try to be intentional about. How can I lift other people up at any given moment, to whether it's through sharing of best practices or inspiring or helping them tackle tough issues? How can we support each other and enable us to have the most fulfilling lives? Because I think at the end of the day, whether, I deal with the world of work and helping people create great teams and organizations, but at the end of the day, we all want to have fulfilling, enriching lives. And that's kind of the space I want to continue operating in.
Absolutely. And that is so powerful. You and I met through this amazing mastermind group of AI. So
Yes.
I know, changing the topic a little, AI is such a powerful topic for you and I, and near our hearts. And what I like of that, we'll talk about AI in your business and in your life. But speaking about empowering people, I love this group gave us the opportunity to meet like-minded, amazing people that are empowering each other. So you and I belong to this Women in AI group, and I love to see that, like how you can create a community that is safe, that help us empower each other and continue learning and growing together.
Yeah, it's really, I think one of the things that we talked about as a group when we got together in Florida was just how energized we all were about learning this new emerging technology that is transforming things unlike ever before in our evolution as humanity, I think. And so there's so much exciting aspects about learning how to leverage this and use it as a tool. I don't see it as the end all. I see it as that human enabler that gives us the added ability to quickly get information and create things that we probably couldn't do. And so I think we're going to really see new levels of productivity, creativity, innovation as a result of that. I think to the extent that we, particularly as women, can support each other's growth and enabling ourselves to leverage these tools to lift ourselves and our communities and our organizations up, I think we'll do even greater things together than if we try to do it on our own.
Absolutely. I am a firm believer of the power of communities and empowering each other. That's amazing. So let's dig a little deeper into AI, which is one of my favorite subjects lately. Can you share a little bit about how you see AI helping as a tool, a way to enable your life or to enable your business and your clients and to help them with a set of tools that can make them be more successful in their lives?
Yeah, I really have come to appreciate that when it comes to AI, the possibilities are endless. And I don't say that just to be kitschy about it, but for example, last year I started launching my own coaching and consulting business after having been in the corporate world for many years. And I'm thinking it's kind of a daunting process to try to do that as, a solopreneur when you're first starting out and you're building that. And through learning about and leveraging AI technology and tools, it's amazing what I'm able to accomplish that I couldn't before. And so, I was thinking, hey, I want to build my own coaching companion app. So when I work with my clients, we have the opportunity to more easily connect and communicate and have resources right at our fingertips. Now, I'm not a coder, but I'm able to leverage technology to create really practical, useful resources that really are enablers for myself, they're enablers for my clients. So the thing about what I would want your listeners to realize is that it may feel scary. Like when my mom and her generation talk about AI, they say the AI is coming. And it's like, no, 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 it's here. And so it's already here, but how are you using it? And I think don't be afraid to get out in front and test it out and try it out, because you really, and it'll help accelerate your development of your marketing, development of your tools and resources. I wouldn't just use the output of AI as a product in and of itself. You absolutely can use it to launch and accelerate the development and the design process, but you still need to put that human touch and edit and curate and create. And I don't think it's going to be a replacement for the power of still being thoughtful and critical about how you are thinking about the world or creating your own ideas. So I wouldn't encourage people to use it as a replacement. All I have to do is turn it on and automate all of my social media, for example. That's not exactly, I think, getting the best use out of it, but it really is fascinating to me how many areas and tools that are just exploding so quickly out there. I don't know about you, but sometimes it's hard to keep up and even test out. The time to test out some of the capabilities are endless, but I would just say start small, try something and start leveraging it daily and find out what works for you. I think when I relate it back to leadership, I don't think being a great leader is about having all the answers. I think it's about asking good questions. And that's a parallel for leveraging AI. When you get really good at prompting it, because it's large language models and you're learning how to prompt it using language to solve opportunities. And so getting good at prompting and engineering your questions to really architect the outcome that you're looking for is an art and a science. And so
Mhm.
start studying, start playing around with it. You're going to get better and you'll learn how to get the most out of it when you engage with the tools.
100% agree with you, Laura. And that's what Francis Ablola call it just-in-time learning, right? Because there is
Yes.
so many tools. There is so much to be learned about AI and about every topic in life and in business. So one of the recommendations that you mentioned is to use the tools that you need in that moment and
That's right.
because there are so many shiny objects, it's so hard to keep up. So, but yes, let's work on one and just go with that. And it can be also overwhelming. And I know a lot of people feel like that at this time about AI because either they see it like an enemy, like a threat, big threat that is going to take over their jobs. But it will be a really good idea to twist that thought and turn it into, like you mentioned, into your superpower, because definitely it can become a really powerful, amazing tool that can help you grow potentially like a big time. So it's a matter of using it as a superpower and engage in the learning and go with that and just lose the fear of AI. AI is actually our friend and it can be our superpower.
100%.
Let's talk about some favorite tools that you have with AI. Tell us the few, mention as many as you want of your favorite AI tools that can help you. They either help you save time, make more money, or accomplish a goal.
Well, yeah, I think the tools I use the most are tools such as ChatGPT and
Mhm.
Perplexity and Claude. But for developing my app, Replit has been a really amazing tool. It's a no code, like you don't need to have any coding experience and you can verbalize what you want to create and it'll help you create it. So that has been super powerful. A tool that I use that has really been helpful for creating some training guides and programs that I'm doing for one of my clients is called Napkin AI, and that one is where you could take your content. Like, so I have a training program that I put together for a clean energy company to learn the core capabilities for leading great execution within their company. And so I took the content I created for them, and the Napkin AI created visual charts and graphs that really simplified the complex information into very visual graphs and charts. And so you can really leverage it. And that happens in seconds. It's amazing how we can leverage these tools. There are some other tools that I'm, just starting to explore on the marketing side. So I think I need a little bit more experience behind them to speak intelligently about them. But it's been exciting to learn about those resources. And then I've also been exploring creating my own GPTs for my coaching clients. So really centering in on common areas of opportunity to help guide their work. And so those are resources that are available if you have a membership in those sources. Some of the AI I'm using that I really love as well would be on the image creation side. So using Flux and some of the AI image generation that's within ChatGPTs are also wonderful ways of creating images. So if you look on my website, some of the team photos that are in there are actually AI generated. And, when I said I really want to have relevant, concrete pictures, you can spend hours looking for content. But I've also used one of the tools we learned at the conference that we met at was how to generate your own songs. And so I
I
have
love it. Suno.
Suno, and that's
Yeah.
actually a lot of fun. And I have a destination birthday in New Orleans next weekend that where we spent about an hour creating all these versions of the song for the birthday girl. And so we're going to have a dedicated song in her chosen music genre preference. And so it's a lot of fun to be able to
It's
look at.
so fun.
It's
Oh
not
my
it's
God.
not just productive, but I don't really use Google as much anymore because you don't get the curation and the zeroing in on information the same that you can with AI, with just the power of getting that information. So it's really shifted even how I search for information.
I love it. Yes. And I think it's amazing. And like the level of things you can do with AI is like endless. And I would agree with you on the comment of the quality of output that you receive. Also, like, because a lot of people might not like the pictures that are AI generated. But you can do different things. You can iterate and go back and forth until you get the result that you want. Because a lot of times you can get something that is not acceptable, that is so robotic or so like not really does not represent you or does not accomplish what you're looking for. So I would say
what you just said is really important. If you're not satisfied with the result that you're getting, keep pushing deeper. I'm part of a mastermind group that we meet bi-weekly or monthly now. And part of it is we share what different AI tools we're using. And one of the participants says, he had a baked potato that was left out overnight. And so he asked AI whether it was safe to eat the baked potato. And so it started coming up with all these kind of generally accepted guidelines on food safety. But he says, yes, but what about the evidence about baked potatoes that have been left out? Is there any research evidence at all about that? And he kept pushing the AI. And the AI was coming back as, thank you for your critical thinking. It is true that there are no specific studies about this particular food item and the risks associated, but these general guidelines. And so then he pushed further. He said, tell me a little bit more about why you are pushing those generally accepted guidelines when I'm specifically asking about this. And so you can have that level of back and forth and engaging to come up with answers. And it was really fascinating to see the response that AI came back with in terms of its training for producing information and not to make things up, but don't just accept it for what it is. Really a critical evaluator of the output that you're getting and be thoughtful about what you're trying to accomplish with it and where that information may come from. So a lot to be said, but keep pushing it. You're going to get much deeper and richer information.
And the output you get has a lot to do with the input you give. Because if you give a very like basic generic input or a prompt, then you're going to get a very bad, probably generic result. But the more info you give, the better the answer you get. And also on that token, I would like to add that now these, especially the LLMs, are evolving in a way that you don't need to be an expert in prompting, which is what we were told at the beginning. But now it's more conversational. You can actually, one of my favorite hacks on ChatGPT is that you add the voice control option where you tell it, and I use it like when I go for a walk or when I am driving, I just start talking to the GPT like I'm talking with my coach or with a consultant, because I go back and forth and tell it what I like, and it answers me or and give feedback. So it actually tailors the outcome to what I'm exactly looking for. So I love that option to talk.
Yes. I do the same. It's a time saver.
Yeah, for sure. I would love to share, Laura, one of my favorite hacks, and I'm like, which is use ChatGPT, or it could be any LLM, to build a board of advisors. Like, for instance, if you're working on a specific project, you can say, and I'll be happy to put the prompt here at the end if somebody wants to use it. Act as my personal board of advisors. I want a diverse, high-performing team of expert voices I can consult on an important business and life decisions. We can talk about AI. I have created a board of advisors for AI-related questions, or for any project that I am writing a book. So I'm like trying to get feedback on the advisor, and you can use the top experts, individuals on that specific topic If you're talking about law, whatever that is, like a business, AI, marketing, copyright, and I continue. Please create a roundtable or 4 to 6 expert personas. Each one should have a clear name, specialty, background, tone of voice, and decision-making style. I want a mix of logic, creativity, and emotional intelligence and practical experience. Once you have introduced the board, be ready to answer questions from each advisor's unique perspective. When I ask a question, respond as if they are each giving me their answer at the table. So it's pretty cool. I've been playing back and forth with this, and it's really, really interesting.
I
In
love
that way,
that's a beautiful example of how, and I see this, there's a parallel here in the coaching world where you can prompt AI to act as your coach. And I love this concept as an advisor because you set the role that you want to give AI. And in this case, you have different personas on your board who have different sources of expertise. And the idea is, how do we get access to that? And what I love about what this technology is bringing is it's democratizing access to information and access to advice and practical tools and resources in a way that all you need is a smart device with access to the internet in order to leverage that. So it goes back to be creative, like really think about what would elevate your ability to live bigger, to achieve more, to achieve your dream. I think the possibilities truly are endless when you can look at how you can leverage that. So I
yes,
love that. Thank you for sharing.
you're welcome. And if you think about it, we have never had such a powerful level of experts and information at our fingertips, because it's a matter of just the information is out there. So these tools can help us retrieve that information and use it for our advantage. So it's amazing opportunities that we are living through nowadays, Laura. Let's talk about routines and happy habits. You know, the name of this podcast is Happiness by Habit. So I would love to get your feedback on what are your favorite happy habits.
Oh my gosh, yes. So gratitude is probably the top practice that I have that is really my superpower for me. When I practice gratitude, I really do it both in the morning and in the evening. So at night, I reflect on the day, and I don't journal per se, but I do a lot of meditation. So I build it into my meditation, and I start my meditation with gratitude, what I'm grateful for. And to me, it's really hard to be upset or disappointed when you're feeling grateful. And
Mm-hmm.
it's amazing the energy that gratitude brings when you really nurture that. And I also build gratitude into my morning priming. So as part of getting ready for the day, I really try to look, and I always tell myself today is a great day to have a great day. And it's all about the intention that you set.
Mm-hmm.
Gratitude is really about that. What I'm grateful in the morning is about what I'm grateful that I have the opportunity to experience and do throughout the day. And at night, it's about, spending that time and savoring what I'm grateful for. And it just brings so much joy. The second practice, I would say, that really brings happiness for me, it's about continuous learning. So I'm a lifelong
Mm.
learner. You see my books behind me. I was just on a webinar before our chat this morning, and I get so much joy when I'm learning and growing as a person. And so I'm constantly trying to either read new books or take webinars and constantly grow and push myself. Happiness habit I have is exercise. Movement for me is life. It's just as much about mental well-being as it is physical well-being. So getting out there and moving those muscles and breaking a sweat and getting out in nature, I get a lot of joy from being in nature. So getting out there is really a key practice that I engage. And of course, with my two fur babies, I take them out and bring them along with me. And I know it makes them happy. They can't wait to get out.
What do you
The
have?
other,
Dogs, cats?
I have two dogs. Yes, I have
Ah,
two Cavapoos, Ryder and Autumn, and they're a lot of joy. So
exactly.
playing with them is definitely a happiness habit that
For
I
sure.
engage throughout the day in between my meetings. And I think the other habit is just travel. Traveling, exploring new cultures and areas of the world are something that I just want to continue exploring. There's such a big world that I get so much joy in meeting new people and experiencing new cultures and foods. So those are probably my top happiness habits.
I love them. Very nice. So let's talk about going back to the happiness, but also the tools on AI. What would you recommend to a person that feels stuck? What is one tool or one action they can take today to move forward?
Are you asking about AI tools or just tools in general?
It can be AI tool or it can be an action in general.
Yeah. Well, I think in many ways, and you can use AI for this, but it's kind of, you need to do the inner work in order to manifest it in your outer work. And I think when you're unstuck, I always work with leaders and teams to figure out, let's get super clear about the outcome that we're really after. So often, particularly leaders, they're often put into leadership roles because they're good problem solvers, they take action, but we often have such a bias for action that we may not stop and truly get clear definitions about what success truly looks like. And I think there's an opportunity to spend that time to define the results that truly matter and to really then connect why that's important. And I think that this taps into the motivational aspect. So we often don't have a knowing problem, we have a doing problem. And so you think about why is it that we know we don't do what we know we need to do? Why don't we exercise when we know the power and the benefits of it? I always say, is it an excuse, the reason why, or is it that you really have a true barrier or a roadblock? So often it's the excuses, but we're not really making it a must. So tapping into what motivates people to get unstuck is figuring out your true why and going deeper. Like, why is it important for you to write that book? What is the outcome? And going deeper so you can build more credibility and share your wisdom to the world. Okay, well, why is that important? Well, you want to give back and you want to be able to leave a legacy. Well, why is that important? So you keep drilling in to the why so that you help people tap into, it's not just I get to do this, but now it's a must. Like, they get connected back to the core and then helping them create a massive action plan once they get clarity about why it's so important to accomplish this outcome. AI can be such a tool that they could use to say, these are the challenges I'm faced with this. What do experts in this area recommend? Or how do I tackle this? And what are the strategies that I can take? So you can use it to help you do research and get inspiration and ideas for how to execute more effectively. But at the end of the day, you still need to be in the driver's seat on defining the results you're truly after. And I find that when you really tap into the motivational aspect, and of course, a lot of times it's when you uncover those limiting beliefs, turning those around and say, okay, how can we let go of those beliefs and what better beliefs would serve you? So helping you discover those empowering beliefs versus the limiting beliefs is really important for getting some of those breakthroughs as well.
Yeah, 100%. That's very important to identify them before. Laura, I can go on and on. This has been so fun. I really enjoyed this conversation. Let's wrap up with something like if the listeners would like to be in touch with you, where can they go? Where should they find you?
Thank you so much. Yes, if you want to get in touch with me, Silvana will share a link. Visit my website at Gooler Leadership solutions.org or use my Linktree link to schedule. I'm happy to schedule a free confidential coaching strategy session if you are interested in exploring how coaching might help you, or if you really are looking to build your own leadership for yourself or your teams. I'd be happy to explore how my services might support you in that endeavor.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much for doing that, Laura. So take advantage of this amazing opportunity and get a one-on-one discovery call with Laura. That would be amazing. Well, it's been a pleasure, and I look forward to see you soon in the next conference in Florida too. Thank you for your wisdom, your heart, and your leadership expertise, Laura. I think our listeners are enjoying this conversation. And if you're looking for an executive coach or transformational leadership expert, you know who to call. I will put
Thank you.
the website here on the show notes as well. All right.
Thank you, Silvana.
Of course, Laura, and I'm Silvana Pimentel, and this is Happiness by Habit. Until next time, live boldly, live joyfully, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye bye.